Biden and Kamala Harris appeared together as running mates for the first time yesterday. And while Republicans and the Trump campaign were scrambling for bad things to say about them, they held their event inside a Delaware gym. And there were face masks, and it was socially distanced, mostly really made for TV with reporters and cameras, no audience. Biden introduced Kamala Harris, his running mate, and explained his selection, while Harris shared how she, quote, came to know Joe. Both candidates discussed the need to rebuild the country and stood unified against Donald Trump. And I think Donald Trump just heard the case that they had against him, especially his handling of the pandemic.
And let me tell you, as somebody who has presented my fair share of arguments in court, the case against Donald Trump and Mike Pence is open and shut. When other countries are following the science, Trump pushed miracle cures he saw on Fox News. While other countries were flattening the curve, he said the virus would just, poof, go away, quote, like a miracle. So when other countries opened back up for business, what did we do? We had to shut down again. This virus has impacted almost every country. But there's a reason it has hit America worse than any other advanced nation. It's because of Trump's failure to take it seriously from the start. His refusal to get testing up and running, his flip-flopping on social distancing and wearing masks, his delusional belief that he knows better than the experts. All of that is reason, and the reason that an American dies of COVID-19 every 80 seconds. It's why countless businesses have had to shut their doors for good. It's why there is complete chaos over when and how to reopen our schools. Mothers and fathers are confused and uncertain and angry about childcare and the safety of their kids at school, whether they'll be in danger if they go or fall behind if they don't. Trump is also the reason millions of Americans are now unemployed. He inherited the longest economic expansion in history from Barack Obama and Joe Biden. And then, like everything else he inherited, he ran it straight into the ground. Because of Trump's failures of leadership, our economy has taken one of the biggest hits out of all the major industrialized nations, with an unemployment rate that has tripled as of today. This is what happens when we elect a guy who just isn't up for the job.
Okay, Joe, a lot of things. First of all, I know you want to respond to Kamala's remarks, so do that. But first, this is why he's freaking out.
Right.
The case against him is massive.
Right.
And I really want to focus in on what he's doing at some point in this show to the post office and what he's trying to do to win this election a different way or to drag it out. But whatever he's trying to do, which of course goes back to his own self-interests, whether it's money, hydroxychloroquine, Russia, giving money to Russia through a vaccine, whatever he's going to try to do for his own self-interests, it will continue to destroy, to chip away at our democracy. These aren't extreme words anymore. If you care about our democracy, Republicans, you would say no to at least one thing he's doing. We're not talking about right and left. We're talking about right and wrong. We're talking about patriotism. We're talking about loving this country. We're talking about respecting our laws and the Constitution. He is not. And what he is doing to the post office needs to be looked at every single day, 24/7. Because he wants to make sure this election doesn't happen, because he's clear he won't win it. I say that knowing his personality very, very well. Some may criticize us for knowing him very well, but it helps at this moment to warn people as much as possible he will do what it takes to try and win the wrong way, because he sees very clearly that this team is going to kick his butt in November.
Yeah. Well, we warned people in 2016.
During
I remember
the election.
4 years ago.
During the campaign.
In August, yeah. In August, you were talking about Donald Trump asking a foreign policy expert 3 times in 30 minutes about why can't we use nuclear weapons against Iran and North Korea and other countries. And, of course, all the warnings about Putin. But this time, some of the calls of concern are coming from inside the House. You have Republicans who are now starting to speak out a little bit. You have the Wall Street Journal editorial page, who has been far too forgiving of him over the past 4 years, for whatever reason. It's been disappointing as a lifelong reader of the Wall Street Journal editorial page, but even sometimes it's too much for them. And when he keeps talking about how the election's going to be rigged and mail-in balloting is going to be rigged, even the Wall Street Journal last week said, if you don't think you can win the election, then quit and let somebody run who thinks that they can. Well, yesterday, obviously, the president became unspooled more than usual, I think for a couple of reasons. One, he was really stung by Kamala Harris's line, I think, when she said that you inherited the largest economic expansion, the longest economic expansion of the history of America, and like everything else that you've inherited, you ran it into the ground. Of course, a reference to Donald Trump inheriting $400 million in today's dollars from his father and going bankrupt, having his companies go bankrupt, destroying all of his companies. Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.